Welcome back, the rare and valuable coins. Today, we're diving deep into the world of Abraham Lincoln wheat pennies and rare Lincoln wheat cents. But not just any coins, we're talking about the ones that sold for thousands of dollars at auction. So let's get started. First up, the 1954 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark in fine condition. You might be wondering, how much is this classic penny worth in today's auction market? Stick around, because we're going to break down everything you need to know. Before we jump into the value of the 1954 Lincoln wheat penny, let's take a quick trip back in time. The Lincoln wheat penny was first minted in 1909 to honor the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. These pennies were produced with a wheat design on the reverse side, which is why they're called wheat pennies. But today, we're looking at a specific year, the 1954 penny with the D mint mark. In 1954, the U.S. Mint produced nearly 1 billion pennies, and many of them have survived the decades. The D Mint mark indicates that this particular coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the most well-known mints in the U.S. But what makes this penny so valuable? Well, the 1954 Lincoln wheat penny with the D Mint mark is considered one of the more common wheat pennies. However, it's still a coin that holds value for collectors, especially in good or fine condition. So, let's talk about that value in today's market, and trust me, it's more than you might think. To determine the value of the 1954 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark, we need to look at its condition. Coin condition plays a major role in how much it can be sold for. Coins are graded on a scale, from poor P to mint state MS, with fine F being somewhere in the middle. Now, a fine condition. 1954. Lincoln wheat penny, like this one, will have clear details but show some wear. The design will still be sharp enough to read, but you might notice some smoothness in the details like the wheat stalks and Lincoln's features. This is important because it means the coin hasn't been heavily circulated or damaged. Now, let's talk value. The 1954 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark in fine condition is currently valued between $2,340 to $500 on average in today's auction market. If you find one in slightly better shape, say, very fine or extra fine, you could expect it to go for a bit more, anywhere from $400 to $600. But that's not the end of the story. Some collectors are willing to pay more for coins that are especially well preserved. A penny that still maintains clear details and sharp features, even in fine condition, can attract higher bids. The auction market can fluctuate based on demand, but in general, you're looking at a solid value for a well-kept 1954 Lincoln wheat penny. If you're wondering about the higher-end range, coins in better condition, let's say a 1954 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark in extremely fine or even uncirculated condition, can fetch upwards of $10 to $25 depending on the specifics. But we're focused on fine condition today, which still offers a nice return for such a classic coin. So, to sum it all up, a 1954 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark in fine condition will generally be worth around $600 to $700 in today's auction market. It's not a high-value coin like some of the rarer wheat pennies, but it still holds a special place in the hearts of collectors, and it can be a valuable addition to your collection, especially if you find it in great condition. Now, let's talk about how you can find a 1954 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark and add it to your collection. These coins are still relatively common, but keep an eye on local coin shops, estate sales, and even online auction sites like eBay. With a bit of patience and a sharp eye, you could snag one for a great price. Next up, the 1947 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with the S mint mark, particularly one in good condition, and with a unique twist, it's got a black color shade. How much is this coin worth today in the auction market? Stick around, because we're going to break it down for you. Alright, let's start with a bit of background. The 1947 Lincoln wheat penny is a key piece for many collectors, and the mint mark plays a crucial role in its value. The S mint mark means this penny was minted at the San Francisco Mint, which is often associated with coins that tend to be a bit rarer compared to those struck at the Philadelphia or Denver mints. But today, we're going to focus on the 1947 Lincoln wheat penny with that S mint mark, which is especially interesting due to its black color shade. So, What do we mean by black color shade? Well, some coins develop a unique appearance over time due to exposure to various environmental conditions. In the case of this penny, the black color shade is likely the result of oxidation or other environmental factors. While this may seem like damage to some, it's actually something collectors find intriguing, as it adds character and history to the coin. Now, you might be wondering, does this black coloration impact the value of the coin? Generally speaking, a blackened coin isn't ideal for some collectors because it can sometimes indicate that the coin has been exposed to harsh conditions. But when it comes to the 1947 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the S mint mark, the black color shade actually can make it more interesting to those looking for unique, visually distinctive pieces. It's all about the story behind the coin. When it comes to pricing, condition plays a key role. Coins are graded based on their wear and appearance, ranging from poor to mint state. For the 1947 Lincoln Wheat Penny, if it's in good condition, you can expect a certain range of value. In good condition, a 1947 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the S mint mark would still have clear details on Abraham Lincoln's profile and the wheat stalks on the reverse. However, you might see some wear, and the black coloration could obscure a few of the finer details. That being said, let's talk about what this coin is worth today in the auction market. In the auction market today, the 1947 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the S mint mark in good condition, even with the black color shade, is generally valued between $1,000. While this isn't a high-value coin like some of the rarer Lincoln Wheat pennies, the 1947S still holds a good amount of appeal due to its relative scarcity and historical significance. Now, if you find a 1947 Lincoln Wheat penny with the S mint mark in even better condition, the value could rise considerably. A coin in very good or fine condition could sell for upwards of $1,200 or more, depending on its appeal to collectors. But if you're lucky enough to have a 1947 S penny in uncirculated or MS condition, you might see it go for as high as $500. Even though the 1947 S wheat penny in good condition might not be the most expensive in the series, its distinct features, including the black color shade, make it a noteworthy addition to a collection. It's a reminder that not every valuable coin is in perfect condition, and sometimes those imperfections or unique characteristics can increase its desirability. So, to sum up, the 1947 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the S mint mark in good condition, especially one that has that black color shade, is worth somewhere between in today's market. It's a collectible piece that can still fetch a nice price, especially if you find the right buyer or auction platform. If you're a collector of Lincoln Wheat pennies, this coin definitely deserves a spot in your collection. If you're looking to buy or sell a 1947 S wheat penny in good condition, check out local coin shops, online auctions like eBay, and even larger auction houses. With a little bit of research, you can get a great deal on this historical piece. Next up, in this video, we'll be taking a close look at the 1958 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny, specifically the large date version without a mint mark, with that striking red color shade. What is its value in today's auction market? Let's dive right in and find out. Now, the Lincoln Wheat Penny has been a staple in the world of numismatics for over a century, and 1958 marks the final year of this beloved design. But what makes the 1958 penny so intriguing, especially the large date variety without a mint mark, is not just the year it was struck, but the unique characteristics it can have, like the vibrant red color shade you might see on some examples. So let's break it all down for you today. First, let's talk about the coin itself. In 1958, the U.S. Mint produced two varieties of the Lincoln penny, the large date and the small date. The large date is the more common variety, which means it's less rare, but it's still a sought-after coin for collectors, especially when it's in excellent condition. The lack of a mint mark indicates it was minted in Philadelphia, which is the main mint for most U.S. pennies. Now, let's focus on that red color shade. If you've ever seen a Lincoln Wheat penny with a red hue, you know it's a beauty. This color comes from the original copper being preserved over time, especially when the coin is well maintained. It's not an artificial coloring, but rather a sign that the coin has been kept in great condition. The red color is often preferred by collectors because it reflects the coin's near mint state, which we'll dive into further when we discuss its value. Before we talk about the value of the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny in red color shade and fine condition, it's important to understand coin grading. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state. A coin in fine condition like the one we're discussing today shows clear details with only moderate wear. In this case, the wheat stalks and Lincoln's portrait will still be distinct, but there might be some light smoothing on the surfaces. The red color shade adds to the appeal, but doesn't necessarily boost the value too much beyond the grade. Let's take a closer look at the specific coin we're talking about. This 1958 Lincoln wheat penny with a large date and no mint mark, in fine condition with that stunning red color shade, is an excellent example of what many collectors are looking for in a classic piece. While it's not considered rare, its color and condition definitely make it more valuable than just a typical penny. So, what's the value of this penny in today's auction market? A 1958 Lincoln wheat penny with a large date and no mint mark in fine condition can be worth anywhere between $20 and $50, depending on its appeal to buyers. The red color shade, while a nice touch, doesn't drastically raise the value on its own, but it makes the coin more attractive to collectors who prefer coins with a bright coppery tone. Now, if the coin were in better condition, let's say very fine or extra fine, the value could rise to anywhere from $10 to $15 or more. And in uncirculated or MS condition, a 1958 Lincoln wheat penny could fetch as much as $20 to $30, especially if it's still showing that beautiful red hue and sharp details. While the 1958 large date Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark isn't considered one of the most valuable coins in the entire series, its red color shade and fine condition make it a coin worth holding on to, especially if you're adding it to your collection of Lincoln wheat pennies. And with the ongoing interest in well-preserved copper coins, you might find that its value holds steady or even increases over time. So, what does this mean for collectors and buyers? If you find a 1958 Lincoln wheat penny with a large date, no mint mark, and a red color shade in fine condition, you're looking at a coin worth between $100 and $150. But like any coin, its value will depend on where it's being sold, the buyer's preferences, and how much they appreciate the coin's color and overall condition. Next up, the 1944 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny large, date with the D mint mark. This iconic penny is not only rich in history but also has an intriguing market value in today's auction scene. So, how much is it worth? Let's find out. All right, let's get into it. The 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is one of the more notable years for this series. It was struck during World War II, a time when copper was in high demand for the war effort. But what sets the 1944 large date with the D mint mark apart? Well, this penny has a few unique features that make it a must-have for collectors, especially when it's in very fine condition. Here's a close-up of the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny we're talking about. The large date version is often more sought after than its small date counterpart, and this particular coin is stamped with the D mint mark, indicating it was struck in Denver, Colorado. The large date refers to the size of the digits on the coin's obverse side, with the 4 in 1944 being noticeably larger than the 4 on the small date variety. Now, let's talk about the condition of this coin. A penny in very fine condition shows some wear but still retains much of its detail. The wheat stalks on the reverse are still distinguishable, and Lincoln's portrait on the obverse is clear, though it may have softened a little. Coins in this grade are much more desirable than those in lower conditions, and they can command a premium price. Before we get into the value, let's briefly cover what very fine condition means. Coin grading is based on a scale from poor to mint state, and very fine is considered a mid to high grade. A coin in this grade will show some wear, but the details are still sharp and readable. For the 1944 Lincoln penny, this means the coin will have a lot of its original features intact, but there may be some light smoothing or wear on Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks. Take a look at the details here. The 1944D large date penny has some wear on the edges, and while the Lincoln image might not be as sharp as a brand new coin, you can still make out the features clearly. The reverse side, where you'll find the two wheat stalks flanking the word 1 cent, is a great example of what a coin in very fine condition looks like. The wheat stalks are still well defined, and the lettering remains legible. So, how much is a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark worth in today's auction market? Well, in very fine condition, you're looking at a coin valued between $10,000. Of course, the price can vary based on where the coin is sold, how it's graded by the auction house, and the demand at the time of the sale. If the coin were in better condition, say, extremely fine or mint, state the value could go up significantly, ranging from $17,000 or even higher. But for a 1944D large date in very fine condition, this price range of $4 to $10 is where most sales fall. It's still a great find for collectors, and with the right care, its value could rise in the future as demand for high-quality coins continues to grow. The 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is often sought after because of its historical context, minted during the Second World War when copper was in short supply. Some years, especially the 1943 steel pennies, are even rarer. But the 1944D in decent condition still holds significant value among collectors. If you have one in your collection, it's definitely worth preserving. So, what does this mean for you as a collector or a buyer? If you come across a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark in very fine condition, expect to pay anywhere from $40,000 for it, depending on the auction or sale price. But keep in mind, the condition plays a huge role in its value, and with coins like these, even a slight difference in quality can make a big impact on the final price. If you're on the hunt for this particular coin, you'll find it in online auctions, coin shops, and even estate sales. Keep an eye out for one that's in good condition because even though it's not one of the rarest pennies, it's definitely one of the most popular among collectors. Next up, the 1929 Lincoln wheat penny with a large date and without mint mark. If you're curious about its value, especially in good condition, stay tuned. Let's dive right in and see just how much this classic coin is worth in today's auction market. All right, folks, the 1929 Lincoln wheat penny might not be as widely recognized as some other vintage pennies, but it certainly holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. What makes this particular coin stand out? It's the large date version, and more importantly, it's the lack of a mint mark. That's right. This penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it doesn't have a mint mark, unlike its Denver or San Francisco counterparts. Here's a close-up of the 1929 Lincoln wheat penny with the large date. As you can see, the digits in 1929 are clearly larger, making it distinct from the small date version, which has smaller numerals. This coin was struck during the Great Depression era, which gives it an added historical context. While it might not be as rare as other years, it's still a sought-after coin, especially in good condition. Now let's talk about condition. A coin in good condition shows significant wear, but most of the design is still visible. The wheat stalks on the reverse side are still somewhat readable, though not fully sharp. Lincoln's portrait, while worn, is still discernible and the year 1929 can be easily seen. It's not in mint condition, but it's far from being a junk coin. So if you've got a 1929 large date Lincoln, in good condition, you're holding onto a piece of history. Just to quickly explain coin grading. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state, with good condition sitting in the lower middle range. In good condition, you'll notice that there's considerable wear, but the main features of the coin are still visible, including the key details on both the obverse, front, and reverse back. So, what's the value of the 1929 Lincoln wheat penny? Large date without a mint mark in good condition. In today's auction market, this coin is generally valued between $1.50 and $3.50. While this isn't a fortune, it's still a nice find for any collector. And it can be worth even more in some cases if it's in better condition, or if there's higher demand at the time of the sale. To break it down a little more, a 1929 Lincoln. Wheat penny in good condition typically falls in the range. If you happen to find one in very fine or extra fine condition, that value could jump to $700 or more, especially if the market is hot. Coins that are in better condition or have been well preserved can fetch a higher price because collectors are always on the lookout for quality pieces. If you come across a 1929 Lincoln wheat penny in the wild, whether it's at a coin shop, in an old collection, or even at a garage sale, this is definitely a coin you want to examine closely. Even though it's not one of the rarest pennies, its historical significance and its large date feature make it a desirable coin, especially among enthusiasts of the Lincoln Wheat series. Coins like the 1929 Lincoln Wheat penny often get overshadowed by more famous years, like the 1909 or the 1943 steel penny, but the 1929 still packs value, especially for those of us who love collecting pieces from different periods in U.S. history. Plus, finding one in good condition can be a nice little treasure. So, what can we conclude about the 1929 Lincoln Wheat? Penny large, date with no mint mark, in good condition. While it's not one of the top dollar coins, it's still an interesting and valuable piece for collectors. If you have one in your collection, it's definitely worth holding on to. And if you're considering buying one, make sure to look closely at the condition, because that plays a huge role in determining its price. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped you learn a bit more about the 1929 Lincoln Wheat penny and its value in today's market. If you enjoyed the content, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more coin collection tips and insights, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Got any 1929 pennies in your collection? Let me know in the comments below. Happy collecting, and I'll see you in the next video.